Lily Rose Melody Depp is a French-American actress and model. Depp began her acting career with a small role in Tusk, and went on to star in the period drama The Dancer, in which she played Isadora Duncan, Planetarium, and the King. Depp has been nominated for César Awards for Most Promising Actress for her performances in The Dancer and A Faithful Man. Since 2015, she has been a Chanel brand ambassador. Early life. John Christopher Depp II was born on June 9, 1963, in Owensboro, Kentucky, the youngest of 4 children of waitress Betty Sue Depp and civil engineer John Christopher Depp. Depp's family moved frequently during his childhood, eventually settling in Miramar, Florida, in 1970. His parents divorced in 1978 when he was 15, and his mother later married Robert Palmer, whom Depp has called an inspiration. Depp's mother gave him a guitar when he was 12, and he began playing in various bands. He dropped out of Miramar High School at 16 in 1979 to become a rock musician. He attempted to go back to school 2 weeks later, but the principal told him to follow his dream of being a musician. In 1980, Depp began playing in a band called The Kids. After modest local success in Florida, the band moved to Los Angeles in pursuit of a record deal, changing its name to Six Gun Method. In addition to the band, Depp worked a variety of odd jobs, such as in telemarketing. In December 1983, Depp married makeup artist Lori Ann Allison, the sister of his band's bassist and singer. The Kids split up before signing a record deal in 1984, and Depp began collaborating with the band Rock City Angels. He co-wrote their song Mary, which appeared on their debut Geffen Records album Young Man's Blues. Depp and Allison divorced in 1985. Depp is of primarily English descent, with some French, German, and Irish ancestry. His surname comes from a French Huguenot immigrant, Pierre Dieppe, who settled in Virginia around 1700. In interviews in 2002 and 2011, Depp claimed to have Native American ancestry, saying, "I guess I have some Native American somewhere down the line. My great-grandmother was quite a bit of Native American. She grew up Cherokee or maybe Creek Indian." Makes sense in terms of coming from Kentucky, which is rife with Cherokee and Creek Indian. Depp's claims came under scrutiny when Indian Country Today wrote that Depp had never inquired about his heritage or been recognized as a member of the Cherokee Nation. This led to criticism from the Native American community, as Depp has no documented Native ancestry, and Native community leaders consider him a non-Indian and a Pret-Indian. Depp's choice to portray Tonto, a Native American character, in The Lone Ranger was criticized, along with his choice to name his rock band Tonto's Giant Nuts. During the promotion for The Lone Ranger, Depp was formally adopted as an honorary son by LaDonna Harris, a member of the Comanche Nation, making him an honorary member of her family but not a member of any tribe. Depp's Comanche name given at the adoption was Mehwume, which means shapeshifter. Critical response to his claims from the Native community increased after this, including satirical portrayals of Depp by Native comedians. An ad featuring Depp and Native American imagery, by Dior for the fragrance Savage, was pulled in 2019 after being accused of cultural appropriation and racism. Career. 1984–1989, early roles and I-21 Jump Street/I. None. 1990–2002, independent films and first collaborations with Tim Burton. Disillusioned by his experiences as a teen idol in 21 Jump Street, Depp began taking roles he found more interesting, rather than those he thought would succeed at the box office. His first film release in 1990 was John Waters's Cry Baby, a musical comedy set in the 1950s. Although not a box office success upon its release, over the years it has gained cult classic status. Also in 1990, Depp played the title character in Tim Burton's romantic fantasy film Edward Scissorhands opposite Diane Wiest and Winona Ryder. The film was a commercial and critical success with a domestic gross of $53 million. In preparation for the role, Depp watched many Charlie Chaplin films to study how to create sympathy without dialogue. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone praised Depp's performance, writing that he artfully expresses the fierce longing in gentle Edward. "It's a terrific performance," while Rita Kempley of The Washington Post wrote that he brings the eloquence of the silent era to this part of few words, saying it all through bright black eyes and the tremulous care with which he holds his horror movie hands. Depp earned his first Golden Globe nomination for the film. Depp had no film releases in the next 2 years, except a brief cameo in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, the 6th installment in the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He appeared in 3 films in 1993. In the romantic comedy Benny and June, he played an eccentric and illiterate silent film fan who befriends a mentally ill woman and her brother. It became a sleeper hit. Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that Depp may look nothing like Buster Keaton, but there are times when he genuinely seems to become the great stone face, bringing Keaton's mannerisms sweetly and magically to life. Depp received a second Golden Globe nomination for the performance. His second film of 1993 was Lasse Hallström's What's Eating Gilbert Grape, a drama about a dysfunctional family CEO starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Juliette Lewis. It did not perform well commercially, but received positive notices from critics. Although most of the reviews focused on DiCaprio, who was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance, Todd McCarthy of Variety wrote that Depp manages to command center screen with a greatly affable, appealing characterization. Depp's last 1993 release was Amir Kusturica's surrealist comedy drama Arizona Dream, which opened to positive reviews and won the Silver Bear at the Berlin Film Festival. In 1994, Depp reunited with Burton, playing the title role in Ed Wood, a biographical film about one of history's most inept film directors. Depp later said that he was depressed about films and filmmaking at the time, but that within 10 minutes of hearing about the project, I was committed. He found that the role gave him a chance to stretch out and have some fun, and that working with Martin Landau, who played Bela Lugosi, rejuvenated my love for acting. Although it did not earn back its production costs, Ed Wood received a positive reception from critics, with Maslin writing that Depp had proved himself as an established, certified great actor and captured all the can-do optimism that kept Ed Wood going, thanks to an extremely funny ability to look at the silver lining of any cloud. Depp was nominated for a third time for a Best Musical or Comedy Actor Golden Globe for his performance. The next year, Depp starred in 3 films. He played opposite Marlon Brando in the box office hit Don Juan DeMarco, as a man who believes he is Don Juan, the world's greatest lover. He starred in Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man, a western shot entirely in black and white. It was not a commercial success and had mixed critical reviews. And in the financial and critical failure Nick of Time, Depp played an accountant who is told to kill a politician to save his kidnapped daughter. In 1997, Depp and Al Pacino starred in the crime drama Donnie Brasco, directed by Mike Newell. Depp played Joseph D. Pistone, an undercover FBI agent who assumes the name Donnie Brasco to infiltrate the mafia in New York City. To prepare, Depp spent time with Pistone, on whose memoirs the film was based. Donnie Brasco was a commercial and critical success, and is considered one of Depp's finest performances. Also in 1997, Depp debuted as a director and screenwriter with The Brave. He starred in it as a poor Native American man who accepts a proposal from a wealthy man, played by Marlon Brando, to appear in a snuff film in exchange for money for his family. It premiered at the 1997 Cannes Film Festival to generally negative reviews. Variety called it a turgid and unbelievable neo-western, and Time Out wrote that besides the implausibilities, the direction has two fatal flaws. It's both tediously slow and hugely narcissistic as the camera focuses repeatedly on Depp's bandana-y head and rippling torso. Due to the reviews, Depp did not release The Brave in the U.S. Depp was a fan and friend of writer Hunter S. Thompson, and played his alter ego Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Terry Gilliam's film adaptation of Thompson's pseudo-biographical novel of the same name. It was a box office failure and polarized critics. Later that year, Depp made a brief cameo in Mika Kaurismäki's L.A. Without a Map. Depp appeared in 3 films in 1999. The first was the sci-fi thriller The Astronaut's Wife, CO starring Charlize Theron, which was not a commercial or critical success. The second, Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate, starred Depp as a seller of old books who becomes entangled in a mystery. It was moderately more successful with audiences but received mixed reviews. The third was Burton's adaptation of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, where Depp played Ichabod Crane opposite Christina Ricci and Christopher Walken. For his performance, Depp took inspiration from Angela Lansbury, Roddy McDowall, and Basil Rathbone, saying he always thought of Ichabod as a very delicate, fragile person who was maybe a little too in touch with his feminine side, like a frightened little girl. Sleepy Hollow was a commercial and critical success. Depp's first film release of the new millennium was British-French drama The Man Who Cried, directed by Sally Potter and starring him as a Roma horseman opposite Christina Ricci, Cate Blanchett, and John Turturro. It was not a critical success. Depp also had a supporting role in Julian Schnabel's critically acclaimed Before Night Falls. His final film of 2000 was Hallstrom's critically and commercially successful Chocolate, in which he played a Roma man and the love interest of the main character, Juliette Binoche. Depp's next roles were both based on historical persons. In Blow, he starred as cocaine smuggler George Young, who was part of the Medellin cartel in the 1980s. The film underperformed at the box office and received mixed reviews. In the comic book adaptation From Hell, Depp portrayed Inspector Frederick Aberline, who investigated the Jack the Ripper murders in the 1880s London. The film also received mixed reviews but was a moderate commercial success. 2003-2011, I Pirates of the Caribbean /I, commercial and critical success. None. 2012-2020, career setbacks. By 2012, Depp was one of the world's biggest film stars, and was listed by the Guinness World Records as the world's highest paid actor, with earnings of $75 million. That year, he and his 21 Jump Street CO stars Peter Deleuze and Holly Robinson reprised their roles in cameo appearances in the series' feature film adaptation. Depp also starred in and CO produced his 8th film with Tim Burton, Dark Shadows, alongside Helena Bonham Carter, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Eva Green. The film was based on a 1960s Gothic television soap opera of the same name, which had been one of his favorites as a child. The film's poor reception in the United States brought Depp's star appeal into question. After Infinitum Nihil's agreement with WB expired in 2011, Depp signed a multi-year first-look deal with Walt Disney Studios. The first film made in the collaboration was The Lone Ranger, in which Depp starred as Tonto. Depp's casting as a Native American brought accusations of whitewashing, and the film was not well received by the public or the critics, causing Disney to take a $190 million loss. Following a brief cameo in the independent film Lucky Them, Depp starred as an AI studying scientist in the sci-fi thriller Transcendence, which was yet another commercial failure, and earned mainly negative reviews. His other roles in 2014 were a minor supporting part as the wolf in the musical adaptation Into the Woods, and a more substantial appearance as eccentric French-Canadian ex-detective in Kevin Smith's horror comedy Tusk, in which he was credited by the character's name, Guy Lapointe. In 2015, Depp appeared in 2 films produced by Infinitum Nihil. The first was comedy thriller Mordecai, in which he acted opposite Gwyneth Paltrow. The film was a critical and commercial failure and brought both stars Golden Raspberry nominations. The second film, Black Mass, in which he played Boston crime boss Whitey Bulger, was better received. Critics from The Hollywood Reporter and Variety called it one of Depp's best performances to date, and the role earned Depp his 3rd nomination for the Best Actor SAG Award. However, the film failed to bring back its production costs. Depp also made a cameo appearance in the critically panned London Fields, starring his then-wife Amber Heard, which was to be released in 2015, but its general release was delayed by litigation until 2018. In addition to his work in films in 2015, French luxury fashion house Dior signed Depp as the face of their men's fragrance, Savage, and he was inducted as a Disney legend. Depp's first film release in 2016 was Yoga Hosers, a sequel to Tusk, in which Depp appeared with his daughter, Lily Rose Depp. Next, he played businessman and presidential candidate Donald Trump in a funny or die satire entitled Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie, released during the run-up to the U.S. presidential election. He earned praise for the role, with a headline from the AV Club declaring, "Who knew Donald Trump was the comeback role Johnny Depp needed?" It was also announced that Depp had been cast in a new franchise role as Dr. Jack Griffin / the Invisible Man in Universal Studios' planned shared film universe entitled The Dark Universe, a rebooted version of their classic Universal Monsters franchise. Depp reprised the role of the Mad Hatter in Tim Burton's Alice Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. In contrast to the first film's success, the sequel lost Disney approximately $70 million. It also gained Depp 2 Golden Raspberry nominations. Depp had also been secretly cast to play Dark Wizard Gellert Grindelwald in a cameo appearance in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the first installment of the Fantastic Beasts franchise. His name was not mentioned in the promotional materials and his cameo was only revealed at the end of the film. In 2017, Depp appeared alongside other actors and filmmakers in The Black Gondola, a short film made by a terminally ill teenager through the non-profit Make a Film Foundation. He also reprised his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the 5th installment of the Pirates series, Dead Men Tell No Tales. In the US, it did not perform as well as previous installments, and Depp was nominated for 2 Golden Raspberry Awards for Worst Actor and for Worst Screen Combo with his worn-out drunk routine. However, the film had a good box office return internationally, especially in China, Japan, and Russia. Depp's last film release in 2017 was the Agatha Christie adaptation Murder on the Orient Express, in which he was part of an ensemble cast led by director-star Kenneth Branagh. In 2018, Depp voiced the title character Sherlock Gnomes in the animated movie Romeo and Juliet, Sherlock Gnomes. Although moderately commercially successful, it was critically panned and earned Depp 2 Golden Raspberry nominations, one for his acting and another for his fast-fading film career. Depp then starred in 2 independent films, both produced by him and his company, Infinitum Nihil. The first was City of Lies, in which he starred as Russell Poole, an LAPD detective who attempts to solve the murders of rappers Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. It was set for release in September 2018, but was pulled from the release schedule after a crew member sued Depp for assault. The second film was the comedy drama Richard Says Goodbye, in which Depp played a professor with terminal cancer. It premiered at the Zurich Film Festival in October 2018. Depp's last film release of 2018 was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, in which he reprised his role as Grindelwald. Depp's casting received criticism from fans of the series due to the domestic violence allegations against him. Depp also experienced other career setbacks around this time, as Disney confirmed that they would not be casting him in new Pirates installments, and he was reported to no longer be attached to Universal's Dark Universe franchise. Depp's next films were the independent dramas Waiting for the Barbarians, based on a novel by J.M. Coetzee, and Minamata, in which he portrayed photographer W. Eugene Smith, and which premiered at the 2020 Berlin International Film Festival. In November 2020, Depp resigned from his role as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts franchise at the request of its production company, Warner Brothers, after he lost his UK libel case against The Sun, which had accused him of being a domestic abuser. He was replaced by Mads Mikkelsen. Soon after, The Hollywood Reporter called Depp persona non grata in the film industry. 2021 present, multiple European Film Awards and upcoming projects. In March 2021, City of Lies, which was originally scheduled for 2018, was released in theaters and streaming services. The same month, an online petition to bring Depp back to the Pirates franchise, begun 4 months earlier, reached its goal of 500,000 signatures. His Pirates co-star Kevin McNally also expressed support for Depp returning to the role. In July 2021, Andrew Levitas, the director of Minamata, accused MGM of trying to bury the film due to Depp's involvement, with Depp claiming he is being boycotted by the Hollywood industry and calling his changed reputation an absurdity of media mathematics. Minamata was released in the UK and Ireland in August 2021, and in North America in December 2021. The film received positive reviews, with multiple publications praising Depp's performance as his best in years. Depp also continues as the face of Dior's men's fragrance, Savage. Depp received multiple honorary awards at numerous European film festivals, including at the Came-Rimage Festival in Poland, the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival in the Czech Republic, and the San Sebastian International Film Festival in Spain, where Depp was awarded the Donostia Award. These awards were controversial, with various domestic violence charities criticizing the festivals. The organizers of the ceremonies released statements defending their decision to award Depp, with the San Sebastian Film Festival stating that he has not been charged by any authority in any jurisdiction, nor convicted of any form of violence against women. In September 2021, Depp described himself as a victim of cancel culture. The same month, he launched In Point 2, a London-based sister company to his production company, Infinitum Nihil, and announced that In Point 2 and the Spanish production company A Contracorriente Films were starting a new development fund for TV and film projects. On February 15, 2022, Depp received the Serbian Gold Medal of Merit from President Aleksandar Vučić for outstanding merits in public and cultural activities, especially in the field of film art and the promotion of the Republic of Serbia in the world. Minamata and animated series Puffins were shot in the country. As of May 2022, Depp has been cast as King Louis XV in French actor-director Maïwen's period film Jean du Barry, which is to begin filming in the summer. The previously titled Jean du Barry is now titled La Favorite and will tell the story of Madame du Barry, an impoverished seamstress who rises through the ranks of Louis XV's court to become his official mistress. Netflix will co-finance and stream the French period drama. This will be the first film for Johnny Depp where he acts in French. In August 2022, Depp is set to direct Modigliani, a film about Amedeo Modigliani, which he will co-produce alongside Al Pacino and Barry Navidi. The film is based on a play by Dennis McIntyre, which was previously adapted for the 2004 film of the same name, from a screenplay by Jerzy and Mary Kromolowski. Principal photography will commence in 2023. He made a surprise cameo appearance at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards. Other ventures. In 2004, Depp founded film production company Infinitum Nihil to develop projects where he will serve as actor or producer. He serves as its CEO, while his sister, Christy Dombrowski, serves as president. The company's first two film releases were The Rum Diary and Hugo. Depp co-owned the nightclub The Viper Room in Los Angeles from 1993 to 2003, and he was also part owner of the restaurant Bar Man Ray in Paris for a short period of time. Depp and Douglas Brinkley edited folk singer Woody Guthrie's novel House of Earth, which was published in 2013. Music. Prior to his acting career, Depp was a guitarist, and has later featured on songs by Oasis, Shane MacGowan, Iggy Pop, Vanessa Paradis, Aerosmith, Marilyn Manson, and the New Basement Tapes, among others. He also performed with Manson at the Revolver Golden Gods Awards in 2012. Depp played guitar on the soundtrack of his films Chocolate and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and has appeared in music videos for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Lemonheads, Avril Lavigne, and Paul McCartney. In the 1990s, he was also a member of P, a musical group featuring Butthole Surfers singer Gibby Haynes, Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea and Sex Pistols guitarist Steve Jones. In 2015, Depp formed the supergroup Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. The band also includes Bruce Witkin, his friend from his 1980s band, The Kids. Hollywood Vampires released their self-titled debut studio album in September 2015. It featured 11 classic rock covers, as well as 3 original songs. The band made their live debut at the Roxy in Los Angeles in September 2015. And has since done 2 world tours in 2016 and 2018. Their second studio album, Rise, was released in June 2019 and consists mostly of original material, including songs written by Depp. The album also features a cover version of David Bowie's Heroes, sung by Depp. In 2020, Depp released a cover of John Lennon's Isolation with guitarist Jeff Beck, and stated that they would be releasing more music together in the future. Beginning in May 2022, Depp joined Beck on stage for a number of concerts in the United Kingdom, where Beck announced they had recorded an album together. Their joint record, titled 18, was released on July 15, 2022. Depp also accompanied Beck on his European tour, which began in June. Art. In July 2022, artwork made by Johnny Depp sold out in less than a day since it debuted in the UK-based art retailer Castle Fine Art Gallery in London's Covent Garden. The art house hosted the actor's Friends and Heroes collection, which was described as paintings of people who have inspired him as a person. Among the art pieces, the names include actors Al Pacino and Elizabeth Taylor and musicians Bob Dylan and Keith Richards. Depp made for nearly $4 million and sold 780 prints through the art house's 37 galleries. Ahead of the sale, Depp expressed his desire to display his art publicly and stated, "I've always used art to express my feelings and to reflect on those who matter most to me, like my family, friends, and people I admire," he said. "My paintings surround my life, but I kept them to myself and limited myself. No one should ever limit themselves." All 780 pieces sold within hours, with framed individual images going for £3,950 and the complete portfolio of 4 images selling for £14,950. This world-first release proved to be our fastest-selling collection to date, with all titles selling out in just hours, the gallery announced on Instagram. Speaking on behalf of fine art publishers Washington Green, Glenn Washington described Depp as a true creative, with an extraordinary eye for detail and nuance. Reception and public image. In the 1990s, Depp was seen as a new type of male film star that rejected the norms of that role. After becoming a teen idol in 21 Jump Street, he publicly protested against the image, and with his subsequent film and public relations choices began to cultivate a new public persona. The Sydney Morning Herald characterized Depp in the 1990s as the bad boy of Hollywood. Depp's chain smoking, recreational drug use and drinking habits were generally documented during this time. According to Guardian journalist Hadley Freeman in 2020. Along with Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, he was part of a holy trinity of grunge heartthrobs. They were the opposite of the Beverly Hills 90,210 boys or Brad Pitt and DiCaprio, because they seemed embarrassed by their looks, even resentful of them. This uninterest in their own prettiness made them seem edgy, even while their prettiness softened that edge. They signified not just a different kind of celebrity, but a different kind of masculinity, desirable but gentle, manly but girlish. Depp in particular was the cool pinup it was safe to like, and the safe pinup it was cool to like. We fans understood that there was more to Depp, Phoenix, and Reeves than handsomeness. They were artistic, they had bands, and they thought really big thoughts, which they would ramble on about confusingly in interviews. If we dated them, we understood that our role would be to understand their souls. Similarly, film scholar Anna Everett has described Depp's 1990s films and public persona as anti-macho and gender-bending, going against the conventions of a Hollywood leading man. After 21 Jump Street, Depp chose to work Indiana independent films, often taking on quirky roles that sometimes even completely obscured his looks, such as Edward Scissorhands. Critics often described Depp's characters as iconic loners or gentle outsiders. According to Depp, his one-time agent, Tracy Jacobs of United Talent Agency, had to take a lot of heat over the years for his role choices. Depp characterized higher ups at Utah as thinking, "Jesus Christ. When does he do a movie where he kisses the girl? When does he get to pull a gun out and shoot somebody? When does he get to be a man for a change? When is he finally going to do a blockbuster?" Depp also cultivated the image of a bad boy. According to Everett, his rule-breaking roles matched with the much-publicized rebelliousness, unconventionality, and volatility ascribed to Depp's own personal life throughout the decade. From reports of his repeated confrontations with the police, trashing of a hotel room, chain smoking, drinking, and drug use, to his multiple engagements to such glamorous women as supermodel Kate Moss and Hollywood starlet Winona Ryder and others, we clearly see a perfect fit between his nonconformist star image and his repertoire of outsider characters. After a decade of appearing mainly in independent films with varying commercial success, Depp became one of the biggest box office draws in the 2000s with his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Walt Disney Studios' Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. The 5 films in the series have earned $4.5 billion as of 2021. In addition to the Pirates franchise, Depp also made further 4 films with Tim Burton that were major successes, with 1, Alice in Wonderland, becoming the biggest commercial hit of Depp's career and one of the highest-grossing films in history. According to film scholar Murray Pomerantz, Depp's collaboration with Disney can be seen to purport and herald a new era for Johnny Depp, one in which he is, finally, as though long promised and long expected, the proud proprietor of a much-accepted career, not only a star but a middle-class hero. In 2003, the same year as the first film in the Pirates series was released, Depp was named World's Sexiest Man by People. He would receive the title again in 2009. During the decade and into the 2010s, Depp was one of the biggest and most popular film stars in the world and was named by public vote as favorite male movie star at the People's Choice Awards every year for 2005 through 2012. In 2012, Depp became the highest-paid actor in the American film industry, earning as high as $75 million per film, and as of 2020, is the 10th highest-grossing actor worldwide, with his films having grossed over $3.7 billion at the United States box office and over $10 billion worldwide. Although a mainstream favorite with the audiences, critics' views on Depp changed in the 2000s, becoming more negative as he was seen to conform more to the Hollywood ideal. Regardless, Depp continued to eschew more traditional leading man roles until towards the end of the 2000s, when he starred as John Dillinger in Public Enemies. In the 2010s, Depp's films were less successful, with many big-budget studio films such as Dark Shadows, The Lone Ranger, and Alice Through the Looking Glass which underperformed at the box office. Depp also received negative publicity due to allegations of domestic violence, substance abuse, poor on-set behavior and the loss of his $650 million fortune. After losing a highly publicized libel trial against the publishers of The Sun, Depp was asked to resign from Warner Bros.' Fantastic Beasts franchise. Many publications alleged that Depp would struggle to find further work in major studio productions in the future. Personal life. Relationships. Depp and makeup artist Lori Ann Allison were married from 1983 until 1985. In the late 1980s, he was engaged to actresses Jennifer Grey and Sherilyn Fenn before proposing in 1990 to his Edward Scissorhands co-star Winona Ryder, for whom he tattooed Winona Forever on his right arm which he later changed to Wino Forever. Between 1994 and 1998, he was in a relationship with English model Kate Moss. Following his breakup from Moss, Depp began a relationship with French actress and singer Vanessa Paradis, whom he met while filming The Ninth Gate in France in 1998. They have 2 children, daughter Lily Rose Melody Depp and a son, Jack. Depp stated that having children has given him a real foundation, a real strong place to stand in life, in work, in everything. You cannot plan the kind of deep love that results in children. Fatherhood was not a conscious decision. It was part of the wonderful ride I was on. It was destiny. All the math finally worked. Depp and Paradis announced that they had separated in June 2012. Amber Heard. Legal issues. Depp v News Group Newspapers Ltd/I. None. Depp v Heard/I. None. Other legal issues. Alcohol and drug use. Depp has struggled with alcoholism and addiction for much of his life. He has stated that he began using drugs by taking his mother's nerve pills at the age of 11, was smoking at age 12 and by the age of 14 had used every kind of drugs there were. In a 1997 interview, Depp acknowledged past abuse of alcohol during the filming of What's Eating Gilbert Grape. In a 2008 interview, Depp stated that he had poisoned himself with alcohol for years. In 2013, Depp declared that he had stopped drinking alcohol, adding that he pretty much got everything could get out of it. Depp also said, "I investigated wine and spirits thoroughly, and they certainly investigated me as well, and we found out that we got along beautifully, but maybe too well." Regarding his breakup with longtime partner Vanessa Paradis, Depp said that he definitely wasn't going to rely on the drink to ease things or cushion the blow or cushion the situation that could have been fatal. According to his ex-wife, Amber Heard, Depp plunged into the depths of paranoia and violence after binging on drugs and alcohol during their relationship between 2013 and 2016. In a 2018 Rolling Stone profile of Depp, reporter Stephen Roderick wrote that he had used hashish in his presence and described him as alternately hilarious, sly, and incoherent. Depp also said that the allegation made by his former business managers that he had spent $30,000 per month on wine was insulting because he had spent far more than that amount. During his 2020 libel trial, Depp admitted to having been addicted to roxicodone and alcohol as well as using other substances such as MDMA and cocaine during his relationship with Heard. Political views. In November 2016, Depp joined the campaign Imprisoned for Art to call for the release of Ukrainian filmmaker Oleg Sentsov, who was being held in custody in Russia. At the Glastonbury Festival 2017, Depp, criticizing President Donald Trump, asked, "When was the last time an actor assassinated a president? I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living. However, it's been a while and maybe it's time." He added, "I'm not insinuating anything." The comment was interpreted as a reference to John Wilkes Booth, the actor who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. Sean Holtzclaw of the Secret Service told CNN they were aware of Depp's comment, but that for security reasons, we cannot discuss specifically nor in general terms the means and methods of how we perform our protective responsibilities. Depp apologized shortly afterward, saying the remark did not come out as intended, and I intended no malice. Filmography and accolades. Discography. See also: List of people from Kentucky. List of actors with Academy Award nominations. List of actors with 2 or more Academy Award nominations in acting categories. Jack Sparrow. Notes.